Hello, my name is Kathy Nguyen, and this is my world culture presentation. My presentation is on Laos. So first, I'll be talking about the Laos traditional food habits. So a little bit of their history. The Lao People's Revolutionary Party came to power in 1975 in a country that had been devastated by the Second Indochina War's environmental, psychological, social, political, and economic effects. But despite these early difficulties, the LPRP succeeded in their first decades of rule by making significant gains, such as sharp increases in literacy and a genuine end to warfare. Officially, the party still sees the establishment of socialism as a long-term goal. Internal trade restrictions were lifted and agricultural products were given a free market. Over the following 10 years, a variety of supportive measures were implemented. So now I'll be talking about the ingredients in Laos cooking. A lot of the ingredients can be found in supermarkets, farmer markets, and supermarkets. However, there are ingredients that can be hard to find in supermarkets, but there are now websites available to find these ingredients. So some of the ingredients include herbs, rice, and noodles, which include sticky rice, plain rice, vermicelli, fermented rice noodles, and egg noodles, vegetables, and meat and protein. The flavor principles in Laos cooking include salty, sweet, bitter, sour, umami, spicy, and astringent. So instead of salt, fish sauce is usually used to create salty flavor. Sugar made from palm or cane is used to provide sweet flavor. Lemon, tamarind, sour plums, or fermentation are sources of sour flavor. Some dishes are bitter because they contain herbs to add flavor to foods. Chilies can be used fresh, dried, or powdered. Unfiltered fish sauce, such as which is also called padek, is to boost umami flavor. And finally, unripe fruits is where astringency is most frequently found. There's a saying in Laos culture that um which is it is better to eat bitter than sweet. This may explain why bitter herbs are frequently included on a dish of unseasoned veggies. So these are the traditional foods in Laos culture. Khao is the first one, which is sticky rice. Right, sticky rice is the most fundamental food in Laos, forming which is a base for every meal. Um, it is often cooked in tipkal, which means rice basket. The rice baskets are made of dry stalks or reeds. Overall, people eat sticky rice or plain rice on a daily. Kalpun is a second traditional dish. There's two ways to eat this. One way is where it is a chicken broth soup with a red curry paste that includes coconut milk, and the second one is served without coconut milk, but the base is either pork or fish. Halpong is like a dipping dish that's called hot pepper dip. Um, it is made with fish sauce, palm sugar, dried chilies, garlic, shallots, and tamarind. And usually this is eaten with every meal as well. The Laos will eat three meals daily. A simple meal in Laos culture will include sticky rice or plain white rice, a thick soup or thin soup, pong, a meat dish, and a vegetable dish. No meals complete without kalbong, which is an essential dipping sauce. Traditionally, meals are served on a low, round, rattan table. Diners would sit on the ground, or floor mats, or even loaves. And the food is usually served family style. So the most important holiday in Laos culture is Lao New Year. People have celebrated Lao New Year for thousands of years. This festive occasion is held each year on April 13th to the 15th. It is a time where people ask for and give each other forgiveness and receive wishes. Lao New Year is considered a national holiday in Laos. Government offices are usually closed during this time for 3 days to observe the Lao New Year. In Laos culture, there is no special food reserved for the New Year or any occasions, and foods generally do not have special meanings. Celebrations involve more food and a greater variety of foods with more sweets, desserts, and alcohol. These are occasions for reinforcing village reciprocity and solidarity. Uh, Secondly, I'll talk about the contemporary food habits. So, internal pressures that affect Laos culture is climate change. The World Food Program identified that floods, droughts, land migration, deportation, relocation, and migration are continuing threats to food access in Laos. Limited farmlands is second. Internal pressures. In Laos, there is not a lot of suitable land for rice growing, which cause people to eat mostly squash, cucumbers, and cabbages instead, which leads to health complications or underweight. The external pressures that affect Laos is COVID-19 and school lunch programs that have ended. Laos escaped COVID-19 health effects, but during the pandemic, the country became in debt and caused them to be on, or they were on the verge of that crisis, um, which exposed the country's already existed weakness. Secondly, the student lunch programs that were aided by the U.S. Have that have helped hunger in the country has ended, which caused a rise in food insecurity for students. Um, Lastly, I'll talk about the cultural dish recommendation. So, how new is the sticky rice in Laos culture, which is eaten every day? I recommend people trying this dish because um, sticky rice is a staple to a lot of Asian cultures as well. I'm Vietnamese, and the dish to your right hand side is um, a savory sticky dish rice in Vietnamese culture, which is pretty similar. However, in Vietnamese culture, we do not eat sticky rice every day, but in Laos culture, they eat it with every meal. So, I do recommend people trying this dish if they can. And, and thank you for listening. And these are my references.